There was a Mexican man who crossed the border every single day for a whole year on an electric scooter, with two huge sacks hanging over his shoulders. But no one ever saw the most obvious truth right in front of them. The man rode up to the border on an old electric scooter, carrying two big, heavy sacks on his back. A border patrol agent stopped him. "What's in the bags?" The Mexican man answered calmly, "Sugar." That sounded suspicious. The agent made him get off, ripped open the sacks and dumped everything out. There was nothing inside except ordinary white sugar. Even so, they held him overnight and sent the sugar off for testing. The results came back, and honestly, it was just plain sugar inside. Nothing else at all. The next day, they let him go. He filled the sacks again and crossed the border once more. And for the next full year, he did the exact same thing every single day. Same old electric scooter, same two sacks, same answer every time, just sugar. They searched him, scanned him, checked everything, but never found any contraband. Then one day, the man simply stopped showing up. A few months later, that same agent happened to spot him in a restaurant in Texas. He got up from his table and walked straight over. "Listen," he said, leaning in and lowering his voice. "You've been driving me crazy. Off the record, what exactly were you smuggling back then?" The Mexican man smiled calmly and said, "Electric scooters." The agent froze where he stood, staring blankly at his own electric scooter parked outside. The Mexican man smiled again and said softly, "Most people don't fail because they don't work hard enough. They fail because they see exactly what everyone else sees." The agent kept staring at the scooter outside the door. The Mexican man stood up, smiled calmly, and before leaving said one simple sentence. "Most people only notice the sacks. Very few ever pay attention to the thing that's actually moving." Years later, this same Mexican man wanted to start a business and open a shop. He spotted a storefront in a pretty good location that was up for rent, and suddenly an idea hit him. He picked up a brick, smashed one of the shop's windows, and left a note saying he had broken it by accident and asking the landlord to contact him about compensation. The next day, the landlord got in touch with him, and he successfully skipped the agent and signed the lease directly with the owner. Since the Mexican man had no experience running a shop, he wasn't sure what kind of business would do best there. So he hung a sign in the shop and kept advertising it for rent. As a result, a lot of people called asking about the place, and pretending to be the landlord, he asked every potential renter what kind of business they planned to open there. Obviously, nobody was suspicious of a landlord asking normal questions like that. In the end, out of all the businesses those renters wanted to open, he chose the one that came up the most. Sure enough, the shop took off, but only a few days after opening, the Mexican man discovered that the head chef had been stealing ingredients from the kitchen. He wanted to deal with him right on the spot, but the chef was excellent at cooking, and replacing him too suddenly would definitely affect the dishes and the flavor of the restaurant. Installing cameras in the kitchen wouldn't have cost much either, but it would have made the chef feel like he was being targeted from day one. After thinking it over, the man suddenly came up with another idea. A few days later, he invited the head chef into his office, politely poured him a cup of tea, and handed him a gift bag. Inside the bag were fine tea, good liquor, and some health supplements. Then he said to the chef, "Pedro, you've been one of the core people in this restaurant for a while now. A couple of days ago, an employee reported that you were stealing ingredients from the kitchen. I said, no way, that can't be right. I thought Pedro is definitely not that kind of person. A man only does something like that when there's trouble at home. So I prepared a little something for you here, and there's also $3,000 to help you get through the emergency." After hearing that, the head chef was overwhelmed with shame and deeply grateful to the man. Later, during dinner, the man invited some friends to eat with him. One of his close friends let out a sigh and said, "These days you can borrow just about anything except money. Do you know Brown? 3 years ago, I lent him $50,000. We were very close friends, so we never signed any kind of loan receipt. But 3 years have gone by, and Brown still hasn't paid me back. I've gone after him many times, and I've gotten nowhere. I really don't know what to do anymore." The man smiled and said, "Why are you making this so complicated? Just send him a message right now asking, 'When are you going to pay back the $60,000 you owe me?'" The friend looked confused, but he did it anyway. Not long after, Brown replied, "I only owe you $50,000. How did it turn into $60,000? The man smiled and said, "See, now the evidence is right there. You can sue him with no problem at all." 1 month later, the man's friend got all the money back without any trouble. The friend asked him in shock, "Why is your way of thinking so far ahead?" The man answered, "Since I was little, my parents had me read one book. The way I think now and the way I deal with people both come from that book, Raise Children Street Smart." The book says, of course money matters, and power matters too, but the real advantage in life lies in understanding human nature and knowing how to read people. Because the truth is this, if a child only knows how to memorize by rote, but doesn't know how to read the room, handle pressure, or deal with difficult people, life will teach them a brutal lesson sooner or later. So many families year after year send their children to tutoring, extra classes, and activities in pursuit of good grades and honors. Of course those things are useful, but they do not automatically teach children how to deal with jealousy, how to prove their innocence when they're falsely accused, how to ask for help the right way, or how to protect themselves in relationships. That's why I recommend the Raise Children Street Smart series. It teaches kids the things school never teaches: how to think, how to deal with people, how to stay calm in hard moments, how to keep others from taking advantage of them, and how to solve problems without making conflict worse. What I love most is that it doesn't feel like dry, heavy preaching. It uses comic-style stories and real-life cases to make kids genuinely interested. Kids won't feel like they're being forced to learn. Instead, these lessons sink deep into their minds. Children who understand this way of thinking from a young age will have a huge advantage later in friendships, at school, with teachers, and when they step into the real world. Because knowing how to deal with the world does not mean hurting other people. It means knowing how to protect yourself, understand other people better, and make wise decisions in a complicated world. A lot of adults don't learn these lessons until after they've been humiliated, used, rejected, or hit hard by life. If your child is still young, now is the best time to start. Don't wait for life to teach them through pain. Put this set of books into their hands. Raise Children Street Smart. It will help children build judgment, observation, social skills, and emotional intelligence from an early age. These abilities can save them from a lot of future pain and hard hits. Don't wait until your child is emotionally hurt or completely overwhelmed before teaching them how the real world works. Starting now, give them Raise Children Street Smart.